Hello, this is Shay Jackson with Hype Math. In today's 5th grade video, we will be going over the math concept, Compare and Order Decimals, Part 2. Remember, 5th graders, stand tall and be proud. Be yourself. Why, of course, you're amazing. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you can receive alerts when we upload new videos, 5th grade, all 3rd to 8th grade, but especially 5th grade math and reading videos. I would like to announce that Hype Math will be having online STAR Math and Reading boot camps for 5th graders starting Friday, January 31st. Basically, these online boot camps will cover different math and reading concepts for each boot camp. So, for instance, for the reading boot camp, it will be context clues or how to find the author's purpose or how to find the best summary of the selection. So not every class will be the same. The links will be in the description box so that you can sign up see what the different classes are and also register to be a part of our online boot camp. Each boot camp will be $15.99. And it includes all of the materials we will be going over so that the student can have a hard copy for themselves so that they can review to just continue to have a solid foundation in whatever concept we will be covering. We will be using Hype Math's 5th grade math review workbook, and it is available to purchase in our store. The link will be in the description box. We also have a 5th grade reading review workbook that is available for purchase as well. And we have videos on 5th grade reading that go over the 5th grade reading review workbook also. That link will be in the description box as well. All right, let's get started. How to compare decimal values. Now, this is part 2. If you want to see part 1, you can click the link, you can click the box that's above so that you can go to that video and review what we discussed for Compare and Order Decimals part 1. In comparing and ordering decimals, there are some steps we need to go over. Step 1, write the numbers, lining up the places. It is important when you are comparing decimals that the decimal point is the same, is like in a straight line for all of the numbers, okay? Not all of the numbers will match or be the same length, but you need to make sure that the decimal point is lined up in a straight line. Number 2, beginning at the left, compare the digits of the same place value. And again, we discussed all of this and had some really great examples in comparing and order decimals part 1. Step 3, if the numbers are the same in the place values, continue until you can compare different numbers. Step 4, write the appropriate inequality sign for the numbers. Let's jump in and start with number 7. Which list shows the numbers not in order from least to greatest? Again, let's say that. Which list shows the numbers not in order from least to greatest? F, 5.036, 5.08, 5.2, and 5.201. Each number has a less than sign, so I'll say it for G. We have 3.09 is less than 3.1. 3.1 is less than 3.607. And 3.607 is less than 3.9. H, 6.4 is less than 6.51, which is less than 6.387, which is less than 6.995. J, 7.315 is less than 7.38, which is less than 7.406, which is less than 7.5. All right, the most important question we need to ask is, what are we looking for? Remember, whenever you are taking any type of test or you have a problem, it's critical, very important that you know what you're looking for, because if you don't, you can choose the wrong answer, right? If you don't know what you're looking for. So again, make sure you determine what you are looking for. In this example, in this problem, we are looking for the list of numbers that is not in order from least to greatest. Not in order. Not in order from least to greatest. Okay? The not is important. What information can help us find the answer? The information that can help us find the answer is the list of numbers that must be in order from least to greatest. How do we solve the problem? All right. In order for us to solve this problem, we must compare the numbers in the list to see if they are in order from least to greatest, okay? Excuse me, I have something in my throat. We must compare the numbers in the list to see if they are ordered from least to greatest. So let's take a look. So number one, even before we get started, right? We said step one, we must make sure that we line up our decimals. In lining up our decimals, you will notice for each list, not all of the numbers are lined up the same, okay? Which is not important. What is important is that you line up the decimal point. If you try to line up the numbers to make them the same and not line up the decimal points, the values will look different than what they really are, okay? So let's look at F. Looking at F, number one, we said we're going to line up our decimals. Check, we did that. Now we are going to look at the place values, and then we are going to move. If they're the same, we're going to move until the place values are different, okay? Let's start with F. So for answer F, all of the ones place have a 4 in it, okay? So now we need to move to the left, to the right. In the tens place, and looking at the tens place, we see there are two numbers that have 0. We have two numbers that have 2. Let's look at the numbers that have 0. We're going to move one place to the right to the hundredths place, okay? The hundredths place is 2 places to the right of the decimal. In the hundredths place, I see that I have a 3, and also I see that I have an 8. Okay, we know that 3 is less than 8, so 4.036, okay, that seems right. And then we have, we have 4.08. Okay. Now let's look at our next two numbers. We have 4.2 and 4.201. Now, even though that 4.2 does not have the same amount of numbers after the decimal point, it may not look like it does, but it really does. When you run into a problem like this or a number like this and you're lining it up, basically all you have to do is put zeros in those two spaces, okay? So the number would read 4.200, okay? If the number read 4.200, that means the last two numbers in our list for answer F, the ones place is the same, they both have a 4. The tenths place is the same, they both have a 2. The hundredths place is the same, they both have a 0. The thousandths place is different because we said for where it says 4.2, it's really 4.200. One number has a 0, one number has a 1. The third number has the 0, so F is actually lined up from least to greatest. We have 4.036, 4.08, 4.2, and 4.201. Okay, let's look at G. Our decimals are lined up crisply. Looking at our place values, we see that, okay, all of the numbers in the ones place are the same. Let's move to the tenths place, which is the first number to the right of that decimal. We see that one number has a 0, one number has a 1, one number has a 6, one number has a 9. And hey, they're already ordered. I don't have to go any further, right? Because we know that these numbers are ordered from least to greatest. So now we know G is not our answer because it is actually ordered from least to greatest. Let's look at H. Are our decimal points lined up correctly? Yes, they are. Looking at the ones place, all of our numbers in the ones place are the same. We are going to move to the right to the tenths place, which is one place to the right of the decimal point. And looking at our numbers, we have a 4, 5, 3, uh-oh, 9. Is this from least to greatest? Because I thought 3 was less than 4 and 5. Okay, we're going to say H. So we're going to say H is probably the answer. Let's look at J. Looking at J, our decimals are lined up correctly. We look at the ones place. All of the ones place value have a 7. We are going to move to the right to the tenths place. There are two numbers that have the same number, and then there's one number that has a 4 and one number has a 5. So let's deal with the two numbers that have a 3 in the tenths place. We are going to move to the right again to the second value, and that's the hundredths with a THS at the end place, okay? And looking at the hundredths place, I see that one number has a 1, one number has an 8, and that's correct. The way that it is listed is correct because 1 is less than 8. So J is listed from least to greatest. So what are we saying our correct answer is? If you said H, you are absolutely correct because that 6.387 actually should have been the first number listed because in the tenths place, the 3 is the smallest number. If you got that one right, high five. Way to go. Let's move to question number 8. Question number 8 says, Elias has 3 containers of cooking oil. The table shows the volume of cooking oil in each container. Which list shows the containers in order from least to greatest volume in liters? Okay, we have A. Answer A is container X, container Y, container Z. Answer B is container Y, container X, container Z. C is container Z, container Y, container X. And D is container Z, container X, container Y. So let's look at our chart. We see that for Elias cooking oil, the containers are X, Y, Z. For X, the volume is 0.946. For Y, it is 0.502. And for Z, it is 1.42. Okay, of course, the question of the hour is, what are we looking for? We are looking for the list of containers that is ordered from least to greatest. What information can help us find the answer? The information that can help us find the answer is knowing what the volume is for each container. So again, container X is 0.946 liters. Container Y is 0.502 liters. Container Z is 1.42 liters. How do we solve the problem? Okay, in order for us to solve this problem, we must compare and order the values of container X, container Y, and container Z. Okay, so Miss Jackson is going to teach you a strategy, a testing strategy. So we're looking at the answer choices, right? And then we are going to look at the values. In looking at the values of the containers, which would you say is the smallest number? Okay, which container would you say is the smallest number? I would say container Y, because and our decimals are lined up. We have in our ones place, we have two numbers with a 0 and then one number with a 1. We know that that number isn't the smallest number, right? Because it has a 1 in the ones place. Now we're going to look at the numbers with a 0 in the ones place. We are going to move to the tenths place. In looking at the tenths place, we see that there's one number that has a 9. We see that there's one number that has a 5. Which is the smallest number? I would say the smallest number is 5. So, in my opinion, to me, when I am ordering the numbers from least to greatest, container Y would be the first container because it's the smallest one. So the testing strategy is, now that we see that and we discovered, okay, container Y is the smallest number, let's eliminate or cross out or X out any answer choice that does not have container Y as the first container, because we already know it's the smallest container, right? So that is how our answer should start off. It should say container Y. If it doesn't say container Y as the first container, or the first in the answer choice, it's not the first one listed, the other ones are wrong. In looking, so that's the testing strategy, right? Okay, so in looking at our answer choices at A, B, C, and D, which answer choices can we cross out because it does not contain a Y as the first answer choice, as the first container listed? I believe that I can cross out A because it starts with container X. I can cross out C because it starts with container Z. And I can cross out D because it starts with container Z. And just like that, we have the correct answer, because we can cross out all of the wrong answer choices, right? So our correct answer is B. B is the correct answer. It lists the containers from least to greatest. It has container Y, and let's just look at it to make sure. We have container Y, which is 0.502. Container X, 0.946, and container Z, 1.42. Yes, that is correct. So B is the correct answer. And remember, fifth graders, that is a good testing strategy, because if you just take time to look, and I know sometimes, especially with math, you can want to hurry up, or you feel anxious and you want to make sure you get the right answer. But just taking a little time to observe and look, you can come up with the right answer immediately. This is an example, okay? Let's move to question number 9. Question number 9 says, books in a library are arranged by their Dewey Decimal Number. The Dewey Decimal Numbers for 5 books are shown in the picture. Lana will put these 5 books in order from the least number to the greatest number. Which book will be in the 4th position? Okay, so let's look at the values of our books. 4.9, starting with the stack of books on the left, and it's only 2. We have 419.018. We have 417.97. Moving to the other stack, we have 4.17.309, 418.63, and also 418.537. I'm going to take a drink of water just right quick. Okay, so our answer choices are F, 419.018, G, 417.97, H, 418.537, and J, 418.63. What are we looking for? We are looking for the book that is in the 4th position when the numbers are ordered from least to greatest, okay? We are looking for the book that is in 4th position when the numbers are ordered from least to greatest. What information can help us find the answer? The information that can help us find the answer is that Lana ordered the numbers from least to greatest, and that is something that we have to pay attention to, because if we order them from the largest number to the smallest number, we would get the answer wrong, okay? How do we solve the problem? In order to solve this problem, what we need to do is order the numbers from least to greatest, and that is what we have here. If you see, we said step 1, we have to line our decimals up in one line. That is done. Now we need to look at our place values. So we are going to start with the hundreds with DS on the end. Place. Looking at the hundreds place, all of the numbers have a 4. The second, for the tens place, all of the numbers have a 1, but in the ones place, there are 2 numbers that have a 7, there are 2 numbers that have an 8, and there is 1 number that has a 9. Looking at these numbers, are these numbers ordered from least to greatest? Yes, we can say absolutely these numbers are ordered from least to greatest. So now what we have to do is find the number in the 4th position. So 4th is the number 4. We are going to count down our list to find the 4th number. So once you count down and find the 4th number, what is the correct answer? If you said J, you are absolutely correct. 418.63 is the 4th number in our list. We order the numbers from least to greatest. And by the way, if you're wondering what a Dewey Decimal number is, ask your teacher. All right, let's look at number 10. Mr. Gavin's students competed during PE to see who could run the 50-yard dash the fastest. The top 4 students are listed in the table below. Which student in Mr. Gavin's class ran the fastest? Okay, we see that we have a chart. We see that each student's time is in seconds. So Juan, our first student, listed it ran 7.408 seconds. Devin is 8.002 seconds. Trey is 7.425 seconds, and Leanne is 8.174 seconds. Our answer choices are A, Juan, B, Devin, C, Trey, and D, Leanne. What are we looking for? We are looking for the student with the fastest time. What information can help us find the answer? In order to find the fastest time or the fastest student, they will have the smallest number, okay? In order for us to find the fastest time, that means that student will have the smallest number. How do we solve the problem? Okay, in order for us to solve this problem, we need to find the runner with the least amount of time. So let's take a look and see who could possibly have the smallest amount of time. Okay, so our decimals are lined up. Now, we know and we said that the fastest time is the smallest number or the least number, right? So we know that Devin and Leanne cannot be because the number in the ones place is an 8, which is larger than 7. So immediately, remember we talked about that. Look and see what information you have and then compare it to your answer choices, and you can probably cross it out, okay? So we know that Devin and Leanne are not our fastest runners because they're the 8. They have an 8 in their ones place. So now we're just going to focus on Juan and Trey. Looking at Juan and Trey, they both have a 7 in the ones place. Now let's move to the right to the tens place. They both have a 4 in the tens place. We have to move to the right again to the hundreds place because that's what we said. When we are comparing and ordering decimals, we have to keep moving over to the right of the place values until we get to a place value where the numbers are different. And for this problem, it is the numbers in the hundreds place. Looking at the numbers and comparing them, Juan has a 0 and Trey has a 2. So which is smallest, the 0 or the 2? Based on what you think, what would you say is the correct answer? If you said A, 1, you are absolutely correct. Juan is the fastest runner because he has the smallest time. And that is it, fifth graders. Thank you so much. Again, you can purchase the fifth grade math review workbook in our store. The link will be in the description box. This is Shay Jackson with Hype Math. Have a great day or night. And remember, you are awesome.